I'm Chanel Scott, the queen of relationship talk.
I'm Josh Powell, two-time NBA champion.
I've journeyed from trauma to healing.
From the NBA to family, I've learned what really matters.
We've come together to unlock the secrets of successful relationships.
One conversation at a time.
One conversation at a time. Welcome to Relationships Matter, the podcast. I'm Chanel Scott.
And I am Josh Powell. Yes.
We have a special guest today, Drumma Boy.
Hey, boy.
We're so excited to have you here as our guest. Absolutely. I want to start the show off just telling us who you are.
For sure, man. It's a pleasure to be in the building with y'all. I'm a Grammy Award-winning producer out of Memphis, Tennessee, author, composer, producer, therapist. Changed a lot of lives, help a lot of people tell their story.
Sounds good to me.
Ooh, real quick, can you touch on that when you said therapist?
Man, I'm therapeutic, to a lot of the people. Like, I got to dive into their life, you know what I mean? I got to listen to the music that they have, and then I got to deliver to them what's missing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, listening to music, I can tell, if you good with hooks or you not so good with hooks or you better with verses, whatnot. That way I know what to present and bring a feature like a T-Pain or bring a feature like a Roscoe Dash or, so on and so forth.
That's what we do here.
Oh, yeah.
So listen, you got a new book. Mm-hmm. Talk to us a little bit about the book.
Behind the Hits. I wrote the book really to share my history, you know what I mean, and to, help put a face with a name. A lot of people familiar with the music, a lot of people familiar with, listen to the track, bitch, or, hey, yeah, boy, you know what I mean? And, it was only right that I just share some of the moments of what it took, the wins, the where, the how, the why behind a lot of these big songs. First song I did on Drake was Money to Blow. Get to shaking something because that's what Drumma produced it for. Or Plies, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was goon this, goon that, goon this. I was like, bro, we gotta do something for the ladies. First record we did was Shawty. Even though I'm not your girl, I still call you my shawty. You know what I'm saying? So it's just therapeutic energy to help guys transition from darkness into a positive light.
Okay. Quick question. So when because, now that you got that under your belt as an author, what was one of the biggest things that you wanted to get out on paper that was something that you was kind of keeping tucked away that you were like, I can't wait to express this in the book?
Man, honestly, it's the business, man. I get so frustrated seeing producers not getting what they deserve. Mm-hmm. I see so many guys not familiar with split sheets, not familiar with publishing, mechanical royalties and whatnot. That's what's kept me in the game. Mm-hmm. I got 50% in no hands. We just went diamond. Mm-hmm. So that back end is hefty. That back end allows me to travel and do other things and reinvest in new businesses or do whatever I want to do, because you got the funds and you're able to do that. So a lot of people selling beats exclusively, not getting anything on the back end. And I felt like, man, just for the producers alone, I gotta share this information. This is something I preach on a normal basis anyway. Mm-hmm. But I felt like, putting it into a book, I'm a soundtrack to a lot of people's lives. Right. You know what I mean? And this book just breaks down a lot of those songs and gives you more insight on some of your favorite songs that you love from me.
So when you talked about therapy for others, was writing this book therapeutic for you?
Oh, yeah.
And what are some of the other things that Drumma does for himself that's therapy? Or therapeutic? Writing
this book was very therapeutic for me because it was just getting like my story out. Like, okay, this people need to know the facts. Mm-hmm. This is all factual. It's not, I'm not drifting at all. It's very dedicated to the facts.
Right.
And what's therapeutic for me is going to the gym. Like this morning, I made sure I got up. I gotta hit the gym. This interview was going on during my normal gym time, so I was like, man, let me get up. I got to hit the gym every day. It do something, get you on schedule, get your blood pumping in the morning, get your mind right. Another thing I do is writing down my goals the night before. So, I already know what I need to execute, how I need to execute it, what I need to execute, when, where, why, how, all of those things the night before.
So look, Drumma Boy, being single and successful, how has the journey impacted your relational life?
Being single and successful, man, it's been a journey. I think, my time is like the hardest thing to give up. So any relationship that I have been in, it's always been, you're always in the studio, you're always busy, so, it took me a while to find the right chemistry with that, you know what I mean? And then, in this game, it's hard to know who really for you, you know what I mean? And who really for what you got going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? So just everything, I think, when you give it enough time, it's going to shed the light.
But what does that chemistry look like? You said the right chemistry. Like, does it require the woman to make compromise, sacrifice? Like, what does that look like? How much does she have to give up of herself?
I think now in the relationship that I'm in now, like, I am in a different space in my life. Like, I've accomplished so much, and I'm more balanced as to, man, let me work on this 9 o'clock to 9 p.m. You know what I mean? Or have this 12 to 9 everyday studio. And then I know how to stop what I'm doing and leave now, as opposed to just being in the studio 2 days, 3 days straight. You know what I mean? Like, I think I've matured and learned how to balance a situation and still consider the other person. That's essential. It can't be a relationship where it's just all about you. It's just a one-way road. So you got to open a relationship up to a two-way street now. You know what I'm saying? And the things that you want, you got to be able to deliver on the other end.
What were some of the qualities that you look into for a partner?
Qualities is, number one is loyalty for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's, as they say, a man of your word, you got to be a woman of your word. You know what I mean? If you say you're going to do something, do it. You say you're going to be at a certain time, okay, be there at a certain time. Communication follows that. Because if, just like I was 10 minutes late, I notified Aline, shout out to Aline for getting me here today. Bam, I'm running 10 minutes behind. You know what I mean? Let them know I showed the ETA, I sent a screenshot, ETA showed 10:14. Ended up getting here at 10:09. Still was a little bit early, but I like to be on time. You know what I mean? So again, you want to look for the things that you have in yourself. So I honestly found like a mirror. You know what I mean? Especially dating the same sign. My girl a Leo, just like me. So it's like you looking at yourself. You know what I mean? And the same things you capable of doing, she capable of doing too now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So keeping it a buck all the time on my end allows her to keep it a buck on her end. And that's the best way.
So a lot of people, oftentimes when they're successful and they're in relationships, does your woman have to fit that same mold? Or what does that look like for her from a business standpoint?
Business standpoint, I'm motivated by her. Like when I first met my girl and we was messing around or whatever, like we'll be up late, 2, 3 in the morning. She still wake up 7 o'clock, go to work. She still be, I gotta get myself together. I gotta and I ain't gonna go today. I'm gonna call in. I don't feel like it ain't no laziness. You know what I mean? I'm always like just pepped. You know what I'm saying? To get it done. And she that same way. It's like literally a mirror of me. You know what I mean? And then she got a second hustle. You know what I mean? Independent entrepreneur. She make candles. You know what I'm saying? 100% soy
Go ahead and
candles.
promote that thing. We on here.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and give her a shine. There you go.
1122.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? 1122 candles. You know what I'm saying? But it's just dope seeing somebody that can inspire you and motivate you. I think that's essential for a man to have a woman that you can be inspired by your woman. And you ain't just looking for other men to inspire you. You ain't just inspired by Michael Jordan, or you ain't just inspired by Quincy Jones or Michael Jackson or whoever may be your inspiration. But it's dope when you got a woman that inspires you. You know what I'm saying? Oprah inspired me. Felicia Rashad inspired me. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of positive energy, and you look for that in your home, in your relationship.
Have you ever had a time where maybe the relationship didn't work out, especially with you traveling and moving around? And how did you navigate that?
Absolutely, man. It's been plenty of relationships that ain't gonna work out. I think, we grow from just learning different things along the way. You know what I mean? And sometimes you grow apart. Sometimes you get unattracted by habits that a person may have.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I see that you're not willing to grow or not willing to change. Anything that stays the same
That's big, bro.
is kind of dead.
That's
like,
big.
you know what I'm saying? I want something that's growing like the trees outside. You plant a seed, it's going to grow. You know what I mean? Everything living has to evolve. You know what I mean?
No,
So
that's
I got to see
beautiful.
some evolution.
That's beautiful, man. So when we get back, because you touched on a lot of things, I want you to expound upon your discipline, because I think that's important, especially being a successful man in the industry, the things that you're surrounded with, all of those different things. So when we get back, we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
Relationships Matter, the podcast.
Relationships matter.
Welcome back to Relationships Matter, the podcast. Before we get back into this conversation with Drumma Boy, guys, I want you to like, watch, and subscribe to Relationships Matter on YouTube and all of your favorite podcast platforms. So, Drumma Boy, before we went to break, Josh asked you a question about your discipline. I'm going to kind of broaden it and say in terms of relationships. And I'm sure maybe you were speaking about relationships, right? I want to know.
I'm basically like the foundation, because how we live our life, right? Because you're successful. And obviously your discipline has given you the longevity, but it's not just in your field, because you talked about working out. You talked about a lot of different things that go with your mental, physical, emotional, financial, spiritual well-being.
And then you even mentioned during the break that he doesn't have any children.
No children.
So I want to hear all that. I want to know how you manage that.
Man, I mean, it's simple. Like, strap up. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't simple to hear, everybody.
Keep that hat on, man. Keep that hat. I keep that hat on, like literally. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never. I had an older brother. R.I.P. my older brother in St. Wayne. This guy, man, he was like the blueprint to my life. You know what I mean? My brother got, different, sent 2 different baby mamas, you know what I'm saying? 4 kids. And I had 3 different baby mamas, 4 kids. And I always was like, I ain't want to deal with what I seen, just the stress and the different things that he was dealing with, you know what I'm saying? And it was just motivation, like, man, let me just, because people don't understand, like I was in the game like 16, 17, 18. I'm coming out of high school popping in Memphis. I'm going into college popping, so it's a lot of activity going on between me and women, but it was I'm stingy with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no. You know what I'm saying? And it's, you always, keep it a buck. Like you got women who the women will convince you to have sex raw before you convince yourself. You know what I'm saying? Come on, just let me feel it. Let me, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? It's like that. It almost scared me. Like it'd be like, ugh. It's like taking a chance. You know what I'm saying? Unless, man, I'm gonna send you to the clinic first. You know what I'm saying? Before we do anything, go to the clinic. I show you my paperwork. You show me your paperwork. We have a paperwork part.
So people really do that?
I have.
Okay.
He does.
You know what I'm saying? So because that's a scary fear right there, just taking a chance. Like, we ain't living in the day and time where you could just, might take some penicillin, you know what I'm saying, or something, and just keep it, you know what I'm saying? Like, this 2000, I graduated 2001 high school, so.
Let me ask you this on a different note, outside of babies or STDs, do you ever think about the responsibility of, like, the other person? Like, what that'll do to them?
Absolutely. What they got going on.
Talk about that, yeah.
Yeah, because, I dated artists. I dated people in the industry, you know what I mean, that had that happen. Now everybody looking at me. Now everybody like, oh, man, you done messed the money up, man. Woo. Like, or, even dating, just women I met in the club or whatever. Like, a lot of them I wasn't even around enough to even get to know you, to even be thinking about putting a baby in you. You see what I'm saying? Like, I just met you. We might have had hooked up 2 or 3 times. I ain't in Florida like that. I'm on the road. I ain't in Chicago like that. I ain't in, you know what I'm saying, Detroit like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't in New York like that every day. So I ain't never want to start something with somebody that I ain't even in the vicinity.
Right.
We ain't finna do the long distance thing, you know what I'm saying? So, and then at the same time, like, I might meet somebody that'll be feeling you, and then I'm in another city the next day. You know what I'm saying? So now I done drinking, smoking, I done forgot about that. I'm looking at always looking at what's in front of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's numbers in the phone, it's this and that, I ain't even had time to, you know what I'm saying? I might have forgot who you was or forgot your name, and you know what I'm saying? So I'm always on the move. It was, especially like in my 20s, in my 30s, like it's almost like a blur in certain places. You know what I mean? So
before I kick it back over to Chanel, just to kind of detour, still sticking with the discipline. When it comes to how you deal with your family or how you deal with friends, like how you pick a circle, what does that look like for Drumma Boy?
I mean, that's similar to the women, friends, all of that. Like, just having somebody, your friends, you want your parents to be proud about them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Baby mama, wife, whatever. You want your parents to be proud about them. You know what I'm saying? My manager, my lawyer, my core. I gotta be happy and not embarrassed to bring around this group of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I gotta, I don't know, you can, you know what I'm saying? I shouldn't
have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This should be something like, man, come on, man, meet my people. You know what I mean? If I gotta think the other thing about it, he ain't even coming around this circle. So if you ain't coming around this circle, I can't even look at you.
How do you vet that over time? Because, for me, I know personally, and I'm sure it's happened to a lot of people where it's like you start off strong with somebody, one of your partners, you feeling like, man, this like my day one, like, bruh, solid. And then you start noticing some stuff, you know what I mean? So what does that process look like, you know what I mean? Or is it always, you always paying attention to what they own or how they moving? Or?
I listen to what people say. Like somebody might be like, hey, man, your boy, man, he might have to look out for him, man. He get his nose wet every now and then, Bam, now, I'm going to look at him. This might be my day one, and I'm going to try to help him and say, look, bro, this ain't going to get you in the right path. We going, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going this way, you going that way. I might try to help him.
Do you
I might try to educate. Somebody else might have put it to my attention.
Gotcha.
And then over time, week go by, 2 weeks go by, a month go by, he might have lost his place. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, bro. Okay, I already heard you. You know what I'm saying? Now, all of a sudden, now you lost your crib. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna try to get some help and attention and give you some kind of education on how you can, turn the ship around. Now, once that goes out the window, is you can't help somebody that's not willing to help themselves. That's what I have learned. I spent a lot of time, spent a lot of energy trying to help people that wasn't helping themselves. And I took the L. You know what I mean? I wasted time. I might have wasted money, spent some money for them to go to rehab, and they walk right out the back door.
Wow,
And right back to
happened?
and right back to the, you know what I mean? So at some point, I gotta let life help you. You know what I'm saying? And let you help yourself.
It sounded like you keep the main thing,
What you mean by that?
in terms of like career has been the priority.
Oh yeah.
And so that kind of sets the tone for all the other relationships in your life, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a professional, whether it's a friendship, that it just seems like you've kept the main thing, like this is the priority. Because like when I heard you say, we don't even know each other like that, or I haven't even spent enough time, that's not people that I've heard speak before, their mindset in terms of, it's like, this is before me right now, and this is what I'm doing right now. But even in those moments where you may have met someone, you're like, I still don't know you well enough to take it there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But always keeping the priority, in the back of your mind, like, this is how this could impact my life,
right.
In the long run, versus just living in the moment, and then you've lived in the moment, and now you're going to regret it for the next 18 years.
Right. This something I risked my life for.
Mm-hmm. See?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I risked my life to be where I'm at.
I want to hear about that when we come back from this break. Relationships Matter. We'll be back.
Relationships matter.
So before we went to break, we were talking to Drumma Boy about you actually risking your life, right, for your career. Talk more about that.
I mean, every day is taking chances, man. Especially in the beginning. I remember first getting a car. I was driving at 15, had a hardship license, and literally when I got that car, anybody who was talking about some bread, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? Anytime my brother called me like, man, I need you to come to Chicago. I need you to come to St. Louis. I need you to come to North Carolina. I need you to come to Florida. All right, I'll be there in a minute. I'm on the way. You know what I mean? And, man, I can remember times sleeping on the hundreds in Chicago, you know what I mean, out my car, waiting on the money man to get back to pay me. I done all the beats, tracked out all the music, whatnot, and I made it up here with $200. You know what I'm saying? I'm living off a Junior Whopper a day, waiting on the money to come in. I got gas. I can't make it back to Memphis. You know what I mean? A lot of different situations. You just gotta have faith. You know what I'm saying? I done missed a whole week of high school. Mama blowing me up, pops blowing me up. Don't nobody know where I'm at. I'm up here in Chicago. I might not get the money. You know what I'm saying? The money finally come in. They might not let me leave.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I done made it out of a lot of cities with some hefty bankroll at a young age, under 20. So you know what I mean? And even in the 20s, like you don't know who might be trying to set you up or you know what I mean, steal equipment or just all kind of different situations. You know what I mean? So to get to where I am today, I'm not gonna lose that on some foolery or you know what I mean.
That's good.
Like I'm appreciative and I'm thankful and I embrace this every day, every morning. I thank God. I'm thankful. I'm humble. You know what I mean? And I think that's me coming from the church. Like when we was in the church, my Isaac Hayes would treat Pastor or Sister Johnson. They the same. We all humans. We all have power. We all have ability to do something. Whether you're a celebrity or not. In the church, we are sister, brother.
Drumma, what talking about like your younger self and some of those decisions, and I know you're well seasoned now, but if any, what are some of the mistakes that you've made at this point in your life, and what were some of the things that you did to overcome? You know what I mean, if any?
One of the biggest mistakes I would say is, not paying my taxes. You know what I mean? Like early, like, you know what I mean? And just, I remember one time getting like maybe 10 years behind. I don't even know how the IRS let it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But okay, that tax lien came. You know what I mean? That penalties and interest just accrued and just kept stacking up. Penalties on federal taxes is a motherfucker.
It is.
You know what I mean? I got to the point where I owed the government like $550,000.
Wow.
Sheesh.
You know what I'm saying? And it's either you pay that or you got this jail time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you get up out of that by honestly putting in the work. You got to make more money. You know what I'm saying? And getting an accountant. I got a tax person for the taxes. I got an accountant for this. I got a bookkeeper for the books. And bam, those three components going together. If I need a P&L, profit and loss statement sheet, or if I'm trying to buy a house, I got my tax returns, or, you know, I went to try to buy a house, I ain't had no tax returns.
Right.
I got the money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, okay. You know, when you're doing things right to elevate your life, is certain deliverables that need to be in place for you to actually execute that deal. And that's what motivated me and helped me say, hey, I got to get my shit together, man. Like, I want to buy a condo. I bought my first condo 2007. You know what I mean? I just bought my first house literally a year ago. You know what I mean? So, bam, just understanding the importance of equity, value, credit, deliverables, paying those taxes on time. I think that's like the biggest thing anybody can know. You know, we make this $1 million. First thing we gonna do is buy a car, buy clothes, buy jewelry, go to the club, get the section, turn up. We so happy we got $1 million.
Right.
3 months later, you down to 500,000. You know what I mean? When, you know, some money could have went in investment. Some money could have went into you know, money market.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some money could have went into ROI, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever, like, you know what I mean? An IRA. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about honestly doing the right thing and making the right moves on the business level, and putting money aside for those taxes.
When you were just speaking, the word value stuck out to me. What are some of your principles, morals, or values?
Principles. I mean, it's kind of like you just got principle is something you got to stand on. You know what I mean? To me, in my eyes, it's like it might be characteristics, it might be your word, but just standing on that. You know, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? That's principle. Even you know, to me, the biggest thing about principle is just doing the right thing and owning up. You know what I mean? To whatever it is. You know what I mean? If you owe somebody, you might have done a party and it didn't go as planned. You didn't make the money, but you still got to pay the people who you hired to work. You know, I've seen a lot of people walk away from facing a win or a loss. You know what I mean? How well do you handle loss? You know what I mean? And you a basketball player, so it's some wins and it's some losses. But okay, who gonna be the first one to be in that practice or be in that gym the next day, putting in the work and saying, okay, these are the weaknesses. This what I'm gonna work on.
Yep.
So this don't happen again. Okay, maybe we didn't communicate right. Maybe we didn't market the event right. You know what I mean? Maybe we didn't promote. Maybe we should do radio advertising next time or whatever it is. But I still gotta pay. Hey man, I owe you $1,500. The DJ, I gotta pay him his $300. The workers at the door and this and that. The bartenders, I gotta make sure I pay.
Integrity.
You know what I mean? Integrity, principle, and keeping your reputation. You know what I mean? That, like, you got your word and your reputation. Once the word get out there, oh, you a fuck nigga, or you don't handle business properly or whatnot, the word gonna spread. And it's gonna be less people, less business that you get.
Right.
So I think that principle for me has always been standing on that. And that's what I always come back and return.
You know, as I sit and listen to you talk, you've highlighted your journey. Even you said starting at 16 and gave us a glimpse of what that looks like. I mean, I want, just based on what you said, I want people to know, because people see you today and they don't know about the journey and you missing school, at 16 and you traveling here and you surviving on the Whopper, like you said. Talk a little bit about the journey and offer any practical principles to those who are listening, who are starting their journey now of purpose and destiny and how to navigate that.
Man, I mean, it's about finding something that you love, first and foremost, because the love is what's going to get you through the struggle, the ups, the downs. The passion is what's going to be your fuel. My dad was in the orchestra, so rap music wasn't really his cup of tea. And at this time, we taking trap from a location to a genre. I didn't even know we was creating a genre. You know what I mean? Trap was a location. We ain't before GPS, before navigation. Man, I'd be like, man, where you at, big bro? I'm at the trap. I know exactly where that's at. You know what I'm saying? And every city got, you know what I'm saying? And you don't need no address. I don't need no GPS. I don't need no, this is before all that. You know what I mean? Pulling up, skirt. They had me over there. Man, you sit over there, man, cute. I'm in there making beats. I'm in it, like this where literally I made beats at. I go to the trap, man, you got your weed, you got blah. Man, we cooking up. And I'm seeing what's going on. I'm seeing cash coming in, cash, I'm seeing transactions, this and that. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing how people paranoid and looking for the police and man, woo. And, you know what I mean? So it that type of environment, it makes you think dark. You know what I mean? It's stressful. You know what I'm saying? But it's fun because you're making money. You know what I'm saying? It's a rush, but it's like, man, we gotta, you know what I'm saying? We gotta make it through this. So a lot of the beats were eerie, dark. You know what I mean? And when I started playing on beats for Gotti immediately just, that was the first trap rapper I worked with. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Nick Scarfo, Prophet Posse. We was at Fat to Death Studio, man, every day. Just, you know what I'm saying, making beats, cooking beats, woo. Gotti gave me like 5,000. I ain't gonna never forget. And he gave me a little weed, get on the road with, to go to Chicago, make another 8,000. You know what I'm saying? Go to St. Louis, make another 4,000. And just the hustle. Even in high school, I was selling bass tapes. You know what I mean? And just taking that hustle to notoriety in the neighborhood, and taking that notoriety and taking that all across Memphis. You know what I'm saying? And to the point where now Pastor Troy calling, these other people calling from Atlanta. And I'm taking trips back and forth to Atlanta. Pastor Troy gave me 8,000. That's the first rapper I worked with in Atlanta. You know what I mean? And I remember one time I had just got to Atlanta. I just got to Memphis and my manager called me. I'm about to do a session with 8Ball MJG. My manager was like, man, where you at? I'm like, I just got to Memphis. I'm about to do the session with Ball and G. He was like, man, I need you to be in Atlanta right now. And I was like, shh, I just got to Memphis. It's like 3 o'clock Memphis time. So that's 4 o'clock Atlanta. So I'm like, all right, let me call Ball and G. Again, communication, being able to reroute the work. So I called Ball and G like, man, my manager want me to come to Atlanta. He was like, okay, that's cool. We got a show. We gonna do tonight. You know what I'm saying? We was gonna tell you. So they was gonna end up canceling the session anyway. So we rescheduled that session. I bust a U-turn, drive back, 5-hour drive. So I just drove 5 hours. I'm about to drive 5 hours back to Atlanta. We call it the pipeline. Interstate. It's an interstate now, but it used to be Highway 78, right, which is known as Interstate 22 now. 22 to 20. Actually 22 to 65 to 20. But I bust a U-turn, drive back to Atlanta, and I get to the studio, and I walk in the studio, and I'm in the studio with Brian Michael Cox, Jonte Austin. Chris Hicks comes through the door. Anybody don't know who Chris Hicks is, man? He was one of the, I'm talking about gurus coming out of DC. Did a lot of things with Mary J. Blige. Ended up being the vice president or president of Warner Chappell, which is a publishing company. So I walk in the room, we made some beats and whatnot, and I'm playing my music, and I picked up a publishing deal for $150,000. You know what I mean? And that, you never would have known that was gonna happen. But the will, the desire,
To go right
the
back.
passion to be like, man, I
Right.
bet. You know what I'm saying? Whatever makes sense, wherever I need to be, it ain't no excuses. There's so many people I see be like, when ain't leave Memphis? I done bought plane tickets, bought bus tickets, man. Folks just so comfortable in their environment that they don't want to leave.
Yeah.
Man, that's powerful, brother. But when we get back, Drumma, I'm going to ask you about your industry relationships.
Oh, yeah.
When we get back, Relationships Matter, the podcast.
Relationships matter.
So we have our guest here, Drumma Boy. And before we went to break, Josh, you had a question. What's your question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you to speak to, I guess it's different ways I can ask it, but basically relationships in the industry. You know what I'm saying? You see a lot of things, you've been around a lot of things. For one, because I know there are a lot of people inspiring to be in the business or be in the entrepreneurial space. How do you decipher the people that you work with? And then I know there's been some people that you've worked with that there's been some tension. So how do you maneuver in that space? Because I feel like a lot of people can assume that you chasing a bag, so it's whatever, like whoever coming at you. So I'm sure there's probably been some moments where you said no, but that was what I really wanted to get at.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely deeper than the money. You know what I mean? Relationships start with, a respect for each other. So that's first and foremost. First thing for me coming up, it was about respect. You know what I mean? Then the money gonna come. See, I'm not gonna pay you if I don't respect you.
Okay.
You're not gonna get paid if don't nobody respect. You know what I'm saying? So it was important for me to earn my respect out the gate. Period. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna play with me. We gonna handle the business, this and that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything. We set the tone from the get-go.
Yeah.
So if I respect you and I'm a fan of you, but I don't get that same respect back, you know what I'm saying? Then it's a simple keep it moving. You know what I mean? So when I bumped into Gotti, people would just respect my hustle. You know what I'm saying? They see me in a barbershop. They see me in a nail salon. They see me in the malls, passing out flyers, passing out CDs. You see me high school to high school. You see me at the games. You see me at the frat houses. You know what I mean? I'm everywhere I can be. Promote, hey man, Drumma Boy, we're good. Bumped into Player Fly. You know what I'm saying? Mall of Memphis. Bumped into Yo Gotti. You know what I'm saying? Wolf Chase. You know what I'm saying? Different artists, So, when it's that same respect, like you might bump into somebody, get their number, send them a text, they don't never respond to you. You know what I'm saying? So you just keep it pushing. Ain't no hard feelings. Maybe you busy. Maybe you got another number. Some rappers change their number every day, every week. You know what I mean? But it's about the ones that hit back that treat you the same way you treat them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Gotti was always like, Drum, what you need? I remember on a trip to Chicago, I was like, man, I need some gas money to make it up here to Chicago. I got to play. I'm finna, man, they got like 10,000 up there for me. Gotti gave me 500 and an ounce of weed for the road.
There you go.
Just, you know what I mean? So those relationships made me respect him and appreciate him more to where, damn, bro, I couldn't wait to get back to Memphis. You know what I'm saying? With that 8,000 or that 10,000 and goddamn, man, I try to give Gotti some money. Like, man, you know what I'm saying?
How do you balance like, so you talk about Gotti, right? And you've done work with Dolph, right? How did you balance the two?
Dolph probably, when I first started working with Gotti, Dolph was probably 12, 13, 14. Like, he wasn't even, you know what I mean, rapping then. He was a kid. You know what I mean? So I'm 17, 18 at the time. You know what I mean? So I ain't even know Dolph until probably maybe 2008. You know what I mean?
Have you ever worked with both of them at the same time?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I was on Gotti album.
Okay.
I was on Dolph album King of Memphis, and I was on Dolph. I was on Gotti Art of Hustle, and Dolph dropped King of Memphis. You know what I'm saying? And this going on during the CIAA altercations and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know I came up with Got It. When you see me shouting, pop your collar, then you holler, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? But man, I helped bring out Dolph. You know what I mean? And at one time they was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like Got It was trying to sign Dolph, and Dolph simply wanted to make it on his own. He wanted to prove a point and show everybody that I can make it on my own, just like Gotti made it on his own. You know what I mean? I can support myself and back myself, just like Gotti backed himself. So it never was no Anna from that aspect. From what I seen, it was more on a relationship once Dolph did get on and just started popping his shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like this I'm proud of who I am. Like da-da-da-da. I don't know nothing about the baby mama and all of this stuff, da-da-da-da. So I can't speak on that. Like I don't.
No, and I get that. When you spoke on, like, when you was talking about animosity and just different things like that, can you help our men just real quick? Because during one of our breaks, you talked about basically, I love to say, because I'm always like, I'm going home. Like, in the event that anything's going to happen or jump off. But what's your advice to somebody that could be in a situation and you feel like you got to prove yourself as a man and all that, because these things come up. So how could or what should a person do from your perspective, in your opinion?
Mind your business. It's so simple. You know what I mean? Just mind your business. That ain't got nothing to do with me. This a problem and an issue that these two men have, and I'm on some Louis Farrakhan, you know what I mean, vibes. Everybody know me in Memphis. I started the unification process in Memphis with Welcome to My City Volume 1. You know what I'm saying? I got a song I'm rapping on with God every chance I get. You know what I'm saying? Volume 2, I got a song, Welcome to My City, I'm rapping on with Dolph.
And if that comes to you, then what? Because it's for two people, that's one thing. But okay.
How your problem gonna come to me?
No, not.
If you got a problem with another man, you can't say nothing to me about it. Now, your entourage might not respect me dealing with the op or whatever, or however you looking at it, man, but I it's just like a dope dealer. I sell weed. This shit finna get smoked either way it go.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it ain't got nothing to do with me. I make beats. I can't control. Tip, this Shawty Low on what up, what's happening. I ain't Shawty Low, still my nigga. Shawty called me the next week like, man, goddamn, that's how y'all gonna do it, Drew. But he was just playing around, man. Gucci Mane and Jeezy, like, y'all was cool when I met both of y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all had a song So Icy. So what the fuck that got to do with me? I met both of y'all when y'all was cool. I met Dolph and Gotti when I've been knowing them when they was cool. So whatever y'all was on to get what y'all on now, man, let me help bring it back together. Let's do a song. Let's bring this Gotti and Dolph verses together. I was that guy. I'm trying to bring this shit together. I'm trying to get both of these niggas on one song.
So as you bringing it back together, when you go home, how do you bring it back together with the wife? With the missus, excuse me.
How do I bring it back?
So like, how do you remove that energy and kind of like reset and focus in on your relationship?
Man, it's minding my business. Ain't none of this really got nothing to do. I can only speak on what I want to happen and what I see should happen for us and our city of Memphis and us standing as one. As far as my personal relationship, I come home like, shit, I don't even, all of that business is business. Yeah. I keep that outside the house.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? When I come home, what's up, baby? Well, good, man. Shit, like, I don't got no stress. I don't got no problems. You know what I'm saying? I done made it out my stressful time period of life. You know what I mean? So driving with no license and, you know what I mean? Like, I was beefing with my daddy. You know what I'm saying? My daddy told me I wasn't gonna be shit. This nigga, we made a bet for $100,000. I got kicked out of school, University of Memphis. And he was like, you know, embarrassed. He taught at the University of Memphis. He cool with the dean. He teach clarinet at the University of Memphis. He in the orchestra. You know what I'm saying? He don't know nothing about no Drumma Boy. He don't know nothing. I ain't even tell my dad I was Drumma Boy until I was 19. You know what I'm saying? I'm heavy in the street. I got it. That's What's Up. Tila, Tennessee. I did an anthem for the Tennessee Titans. On that song, Tennessee Titans, I put Gotti. And it's Tila song. Double Dose album. Look, go listen to Tennessee. I did the hook. Tennessee, 23s, I keep it clean, man. Tennessee, in the land of goody good at Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? And bam, we put Gotti on that junk. Criminal Man on that junk. R.I.P. my sister, Gangsta Boo. Tila, Maru, Haystack, white rapper from Nashville. At that time, I put all of them on one song for the Tennessee Titans anthem. You know what I mean? Like, I always been that advocate. That was 19. I unified us for a state anthem for the Tennessee Titans.
All right, Drumma Boy. Well, when we come back from this break, we're going to talk about what you're doing today in terms of your relationship. We'll be back. Relationships Matter, the podcast.
Relationships matter.
So, Drumma Boy, we've talked about your journey. We've talked about your younger years. We've talked about the industry.
The book.
Yes. Talk to us about behind the hits. Y'all get that, but where can I get the book?
It's everywhere. Barnes & Noble, Apple Books, Amazon. You just Google Drumma Boy Behind the Hits.
Okay.
Shout out to Wahida Clark, Tamiko Hope.
So now we've made it to today. Mm-hmm. So talk a little bit about what you're doing today and talk about your relationship as well.
Absolutely, man. Right now, today, I'm working on my documentary, Behind the Hits. Mm-hmm. I'm working on the audio version of the book. I'm producing for some of everybody in the game. I just got my first #1 with Dexter Daps on his Vent album. That album went #1. I produced I'm on My Way, Wi-Fi, and Scripture featuring Davido, big African artist. You know what I'm saying? He's going crazy, man. So, you know, doing a little bit more Afro beat, I'm a piano style beats, Caribbean, just, you know, anything that's making people dance, man. Right now I'm in a happy space. You know what I'm saying? Me and my girl, we've been together 5 years.
Wow.
And, you know, I met my girl like literally 2 months after I lost my brother. Mm. And that was like out of all the darkness that was going on, like that was that piece of light that was piercing through the darkness, you know what I mean? And that really honestly saved my life and kept me, you know, in the right mindset, especially when I was making a project. I lost my brother. I did a project called My Brother's Keeper, which is like probably my second solo rap project. But I, you know, spoke on a lot of things and just got a lot of stuff off of my chest. But she was always in my corner to inspire and motivate, enhance, uplift. All of the words that I preach about doing for other people, she was there for me.
For you.
So I gotta ask you though, you said you've been in a relationship for 5 years. Mm-hmm. No marriage on the horizon?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. It's you know what I'm saying, that's heavy on my head. I had to make it to 40. You know what I'm saying? I had to buy my house. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather told me, like, you need to have certain things in line if you want to put a ring on somebody's finger. So again, man, I'm just following, you know, my protocol and being able to have a platform and a foundation for us to start on.
So outside of, I know you talked about you both having discipline, obviously your spirits and the positivity and the good, you know, the great energy that you all share. What are some of the other keys to success or longevity that's giving you the 5 years? Yeah. Like, what are some of the other things that you haven't touched on or spoken about that are things that you deem important in your relationship and why that makes this person the person you consider for marriage?
One of the biggest things is sacrifice.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You got to be willing to sacrifice and comfortably. I've lived a great life. I've gotten all of everything I need to get out of my system.
Right.
So, you know, when you see potential, when you, you know, can see a happy ending at the end of the road, you know what I mean? You see positivity down this road, then you're going to keep driving. Like, you know what I mean? You see some crazy shit. What's the U-turn? You know what I'm saying? So it just, you know, it's about, you know, seeing the potential, making the sacrifices, of course, discipline, keyword communication. You know what I mean? Being able to communicate the things that are on your mind, being able to, you know, reciprocate that energy, as well as, you know, effort, You know what I mean? Putting in the effort and then putting yourself on a schedule where you can balance your time, because time was always, one of those things that could hinder. Somebody's in the house all day by themselves, what you know what I mean? Still gonna be a emptiness that needs to be filled. So just time, sacrifice, and being there. You know what I mean? As well as expressing love, companion. She my best friend. Talking to her, keeping it a buck, telling her about the shit that happened during the day or what happened last week, or you know what I mean? And that just opens up a whole different side of the brain.
No, that's beautiful, man. I just touching on communication, right? Because those are the positives, and I'm sure you and her have moments, right? So what does it look like when you're trying to bridge the gap on a disagreement or something like that? You know what I mean? Because I think that's important to help somebody who's in that space as well.
Man, trust. You know what I mean? She ain't saying what she's saying for no reason. So research it. You know what I mean? Get some information about it and be like, damn, baby, you was right. You know what I'm saying? I read this and read that, and man, I need to work on this better. Or I need to, you know what I mean?
Big.
That's the only way you're going to improve.
Yeah, that's big.
You know what I mean? So if I'm her teacher, she got to be my teacher too.
That's big.
You know what I mean? And that's that balance. Like, okay, I can't be the only one teaching somebody something. You know what I mean? Or I don't want to be the smartest person in the room on certain tactics or certain topics. She much more educated than I am. You know what I mean? And then on certain topics or whatever, I might be the more educated. Or we might not, neither one of us know what's going on. But I do research. She do research. I love information. I use Google for everything. And now I'm using AI for a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? So just being willing to find the information. Read. She like to read. I like to read. You know what I'm saying? Reading is where they hide most of the information that you need to know to take yourself to the next level. So we're very therapeutic to one another. You know what I mean? And the stuff that we argue about, honestly, it might be like leaving the dishes out.
Yeah.
Or I ain't watched, simple stuff. You know what I mean? So, that's neither here nor there. And, you gotta jump on her back, man. I clean the whole, I'm Mr. Clean, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever, just jokes and funny. Anytime you can make somebody laugh, that always bridge the gap, you know what I'm saying? And just releasing as many, what they call it? Endorphins. Releasing as many endorphins as possible.
Well, we really appreciate you as our guest today. I have learned so much about you, your journey, Memphis. I might have to check it out now.
Oh yeah, come on, man. We got some good barbecue back home. We got some good music. We known for the blues. Yeah. But right now, Memphis artists is killing it, man. We really hold it down hip hop. They say we didn't took over things, you know what I'm saying? But Memphis is just amazing to see how many artists are popping off. You know what I'm saying? And of course, man, we always gonna hold down R.I.P. Gangsta Boo, R.I.P. Young Dolph. And man, R.I.P. Snooty Wild, man. I'm in the studio with Lil Snooty going crazy. He coming back to the studio today. I'm excited. Man, we got some incredible music on the way. So that's somebody, man, I'm honored to be lifting in his father's memory.
Man. Well, I always like to just come from a special place, man, just by saying man to man, brother, I love you, man, and I truly appreciate what you've done for the culture.
Absolutely.
All the work that you put
appreciate
in,
that.
You know what I'm saying, and just that part of it, I feel like, and just my opinion, is not to lower anything that you've done, but I feel like God put that on you to get you in to do other things, to help people in other ways. And just seeing how you move and your energy, the times we bumped into each other, you know what I mean, and how you say about your name, that's something that you work really hard for. I don't want that to pass, because a lot of times, especially somebody like yourself being successful, everybody looks at that and they miss the man. They miss the person. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to take the time to really address the person, man, and just tell you I appreciate you.
For sure.
I've had a chance to watch from afar, just seeing how you move, you know what I'm saying? I respect how you move. I respect how you carry yourself. You know what I mean? The energy's always been great, man. And I just wanted to personally look you in the face and tell you that myself. I'm here, you know what I mean, to help support anything that you have going on as well. Salute to you, 10 years in the making, behind the hits, man.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to lay my eyes on it. Because I know it's going to be a lot of great, amazing things that's in there that's going to help people, man. So thank you for taking the time out your day, my brother.
Yes, sir.
It's love, man,
Yes,
and we appreciate you for coming and supporting for sure.
Absolutely. And real quick, 11-11, staying on the right time at the right place, being at the right time, being on the right time at the right place, you know what I'm saying? And my grandma used to always say, man, the heaven gates is open, baby. You know what I mean? So find your purpose. You know what I mean? I started a foundation, set the tempo to help people find their purpose. You know, set the tempo, put that thing on cruise control, man. Once you do find that rhythm and you find that energy and you at your peak in the best place, replicate that formula. So you can always go back there, because people say, oh, you on your peak, and then they go, I know some people still on their peak in the 80s, in the 90s. You know what I mean? So being able to find that purpose and finding that moment, you know, that you realize, okay, this is what I'm here to do. This is what God sent me here to do. And as long as I do his work, he'll keep me here for however long I need to be here. You know what I mean? So
there you go, man. Well, just like that, Relationships Matter, the podcast. We'll see y'all next time.
Relationships matter. I need you.